All right, co-pastor, would you introduce our Wellness Bootcamp champion?
Yes, good morning again, ladies. So happy to see your faces again and to welcome Ms. Lisa. We don't want to just bring her in without sharing just a little bit about her, so I'm going to read some of her bio. Lisa has been named the Fitness Wellness Research Coordinator for the Rutgers University Aging Brain Health Alliance. She is a health and wellness speaker and consultant, certified health coach, group fitness instructor, personal trainer, and wellness fitness coach in the New York metropolitan area. Lisa is also the creator of Brain Fit, a program that teaches individuals how to achieve optimum brain health. I'll be calling you. Professionally, Lisa served as a state prosecutor, putting rapists, arsonists, and murderers in jail, as a federal prosecutor, putting corrupt police and organized crime members away. She also had the chance to pursue a singing career that allowed her the opportunity to sing opera at Carnegie Hall before losing her voice. But it was not until she successfully lost over 77 pounds that Lisa finally felt she had reached her highest achievement, an achievement that compelled her to enter a life of fitness. Lisa's passion is transformation inside and out, helping individuals to achieve a greater state of wellness while bringing the fun to fitness. It is a wellness revolution. Welcome, Lisa.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I have to tell you that I love being able to come on an event like this. When women gather in the pursuit of their own inner excellence, it's amazing what can come out. And I want to just give a real thank you to Tiffany, who we met, our lives have paralleled in some ways, and I so appreciate to be a part. When I come and I speak not just to tell my story, because my story, is my story. And I live it, and I live it every day. But what compels me is to really be a part of your story. And what really wakes me up sometimes in the middle of the night is just the chance that maybe I can say something that can lead you in a better direction on your own personal journey. So I love when people can get super focused, because what I want to share with you, I sometimes say, can be the most important course of your life, because it's going to be adventure, and it's going to be mystery, and it's going to be excitement beyond belief, and disappointment, and challenges, and overcoming challenges, because it truly is your journey. And that's amazing to me, because when I think about how we live our lives, it's our story. But I came here to talk to you about wellness, and I'm going to have you moving, so I promise you it's going to be interactive, because it is your journey. It's all of our journeys, and our journeys are very, very, very different. But I can say this. Can you all say in your homes, just breathe? Just breathe. I know that there were times in my life when my mom would say, just breathe. Maybe I was upset about something, maybe something didn't go my way, but it really resonated with me. And so when I talk about your wellness, and when I talk about your fitness, and when I talk about your health, I have to talk about it from the standpoint of what's really going to move you from wherever you are, and we're all in different places in the continuum of our life, right, to the next stage. What's going to be the thing that says, not this time. This time it's going to be different. And you can fill in the blanks. This time is going to be different. It's going to be different regarding my relationships. It's going to be different regarding my work. It's going to be different regarding my family. It's going to be different regarding how I eat and how I move and how I sleep. What's going to be different the second I stop talking than what was before? And for me, it really comes down to 10 main steps. Some that I'll go into more detail, some I'll just tell you what they are. See, I'm hoping this is sort of our opening relationship in this path of wellness. But when I say just breathe, what I want to convey to you is the importance of breath in everything we do. We can go, well, for some people, a year almost without eating. We can go a week without really drinking. But it's within minutes for breath. And that's what the experts that practice breath and holding the breath, breathing is going to be one of the key components as you think about and as you analyze your journey. So I want you to take one of those really cleansing breaths. I want you to take that big inhale in your nose and out your mouth. And inhale and out, exhale. And for a moment, I need you to go someplace, and maybe for some people they deny, or for some people they buried it, or for some people they pretend like it doesn't bother them, but it is at the root of your health. And what I call with my clients, I go through, it's sort of the root of the pain. And everybody's pain points are different. It could be something someone said to you when you were 6, 7, 8. It could be something that happened to you. It could be something that you did or didn't do, or something. And when you, through breath, can allow you to go back and to identify in earnest what that thing is the first big step. You walk in, you acknowledge, you create a new relationship, and you can move forward. And I guarantee you, when you don't do those steps. So I think for myself, and I had it, and it's changed because as I go through my own journey, and it's going to sound like for some people, God, that's nothing. But you know, when I was a child, I was a chunky child. But I had no concept of that because my family didn't say that. But I had this nickname when I ran down the street, and the kids would all say, Matt, Matt, and I loved it. And I loved it until one day, traveling on the road, I saw a truck. And do you know what's written on the front of every big truck? You might not even notice it. But I realized that Mac was a truck. And these people that I thought were my friends, I thought under the universal of wanting to be accepted and loved and just a part of something, were calling me something that was so hurtful. And the reason I mention that for me as a pain point is because at that moment, I decided that I needed to lose weight, no matter what. And the no matter what led me to a life of yo-yoing. My first diet was a 2 banana a day, gallon water diet. And then we had to run a mile every day. My sister and I did it, and we lost weight. Oh my goodness. And then people said, wow, you lost weight. And then, so it's reinforced in my mind that, wow, if you do extreme things and you get results and you get that acceptance and that love and all of those things that you really want as just human beings, I know that now. I can talk to that little girl. I can create a new relationship. What's your pain? See, I hope that you have your pad with you and you're willing enough to step into it, even if it means that for a moment, through that breath, you may have to relive a certain piece of it, but I guarantee on the other side, now you are empowered. And the interesting thing about it is in the very next step, it's recognizing that you have choices. And this seems so It's abstract. Lisa, what does that have to do with brain fit? But this is everything. When I work with a client, I start them here because I know I can show you some exercises. I can show you a bunch of diets. I can show you what to eat. I can demonstrate a bunch of things. I can see that you have success. But at some moment, if you turn and you say, I don't even know why I was doing well, and I don't even know why. I saw that and I don't even know why something came over me. Take a moment to know what came over you. And that very next step is recognizing that we had some skin in the game. You know, little skin in the game, right? So you're a piece of the story, right? You write your chapters, you write your words, you write your verses, your paragraphs. You are part of the process. And so when you understand that, wow, okay, so I was making certain poor choices. Maybe when I went to the movie theater with my best friend Debbie, and we all would get 2 tubs, each of us, of popcorn, plus a box of Twinkies and maybe a little candy, maybe I had some skin in the choices I was making. And I say that not to be bowed head and, oh my gosh, look what I did. I made bad choices. You know, we have enough of that. We can look at what we did. We can look at the choices, whether good or bad or in between. But I need you to do it in a certain way. So whether you're seated or you're standing, I need you to live up to what's on your head. Because I looked in there, I said, wow, I meant to tell, I was going, Tiffany, where's my crown? But I realized I got my blonde hair. That's kind of my crown today. But I need you to live up to what's on your head by being the queens that you truly are. And that starts from how we hold ourselves. I had a client that came in once and her head was just down on the ground and she would say the worst things about herself. I mean, she was loving to everyone else. I mean, loving to a fault to everyone else except herself. So I made first exercise, you're not allowed to say anything negative. Oh, Lisa, that's really hard. Okay, well, I think I can do that. You know how many times I would catch her in the time I was with her. So now I had to get her friends and family on board too, that she had to see how much she was bowed head and bent. So right now, where you are to live into your crown by way of acknowledging your choices and finding your truth, you're going to roll your shoulders back. You're going to elevate that chin, but it's still looking straight at the horizon, right? You can see all the way at the horizon, way far away, up and down, just by keeping the head nice and level, keeping that distance between the ears and the shoulders. You roll those shoulders back. And you know, I do some programs in Newark and I always tell people, I only know kings and queens. So when I see you in the grocery store or on the street, I need to see that you're elevated into your queen or king status. This is something you have to work on. This is something, when we lift up, our mood lifts up. Did you know that? Science. When you're bent over, I can guarantee there's some moods and things that are going on. So one of the things in this age of COVID is to really acknowledge, constantly reminding yourself you're the queens and kings of your castle, servant only to God. And you have this opportunity to live it every day in a real way under that crown. Because when you start to look on the horizon, next thing is possibilities. You start to have the hope. You start to have the hope you lost. And I know for me, and I've shared this story with Tiffany, I was in a career, not bad career. Oh no, I'm not going to say bad. I don't regret anything, but I was a prosecutor. I've been a state prosecutor, and then I was a federal prosecutor, and always I would say, oh, if I only got that job, then I get the job. And I say, oh, well, if I get that job, then I get that job. And then I say, oh, well, I want to work organized crime. Then I get that. I'm still looking for something, but I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm looking. And I had a moment where I had gone to an event that I had gone to multiple events like this, and I'm sure a number of you can relate to this kind of event, but I was at an event where everyone was introducing themselves, and it was, Hello, my name is Lisa Russell Charles. I'm an assistant United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey. I'm running the Civil Rights Unit right now, and I'm also in special prosecution. You know, it was like these, everyone had long titles, and we were all long titles. And it was just a bunch of long titles. And this one moment was just an epiphany for me because I stopped and I said, I don't really know anybody, and they don't know me. Not by that. I'm not my title. And as soon as I said that, possibilities started circling in my mind. And when I say possibilities, it's what compels you to ask the questions. So a little something that I'm going to be sending to you guys later on. This is my gift to you, but you can do a little jotting down right now. I want you to write down, who are you? Or who am I? Just write it down. Who am I? If I were to say, who are you? And it's amazing to me, and I'll just say, I had a woman, she said to me, well, I'm a child of God. That's just who I am. That's it. And I said that, well, me too. But I know we're as different as snowflakes. So when God made us and he really endowed us with this love and passion, he knew we were his children. But then who else are you? What are you? If I could take away all the things that are on the outside, your career, your family, your friends, your possessions, who are you? And I do a workshop on this, but it's discovering your inner core, and it's just getting you to start thinking about that. Now I'm going to ask an honest question, and because I'm so glad you guys are all muted, so you really can't say, but if you're doing this, is anyone already out of their queen posture? Because if you are, you need to do a little double check and watch out, because old habits are real and they'll bring you right back. Keep the posture. Now remember that in terms of the wellness side of it, it's going to start with the core. So you start to discover, what are your dreams? Write it down. What are your passions? What moves you? I mean, when I say move you, I don't mean, oh, I kind of want this, I want to go here. No. What is your emotional desire? That's different. And that's wedded. And it's imprinted by God inside of each of us. We have so much. But if you never take the time in this course of your life to figure it out, you know how many people I work with that say, you know what, I hate my job. I've hated my job for 25 years. I hate my job. I say, what do you love? I don't know. Well, what do you want? I don't know. Well, what do you like? I don't know. And I went like, okay, we got to start there, because I need you to be grounded in the fact that this is your journey. And if you can't answer those questions, you will be perpetually stuck. I talk about this movie I saw, well, Groundhog's Day. I mean, I know it's sort of a comedy, but I thought about the fact that people kind of live a cycle. Get up, I go in, I say this, I say that, I have this relationship, and we start all over. And if your journey isn't constantly moving beyond what was the day before, you got to take a look at inside. Am I missing something? Am I missing a key component that's going to move me forward? Because once you find it, and for me, for a while, here I am at the U.S. Attorney's Office, right? I remember I was doing this case. It was a big mob case. I'd finished this big mob case. FYI, I'd been under death threat for about, how many months? It was like 8 months. Driven around by the sea. I had a 3 details around my house. It was something else. Listen, my sons had to go in. I had the SWAT team put us in, with the black. I gotten used to a lot, right? But there was something that came in my mind at some point after that party, and I said, you know what? I always loved singing, and I loved acting. I want to be an actress, and I want to be a singer. Now, it sounds so, I'm just throwing it out, but let me just explain to you that I had been defined, not only the limits that I put for myself, but I've been defined by others too, right? So who's defining you? My dad, and I'm super close with my dad, but he had my whole career planned out. He really did. It was already done. I just had to follow the path, and I did it. And I said, I want to quit and pursue singing. Um, I can only tell you that that was not well received by some, but it was a possibility based on a love, based on me looking into what was put inside of me. I didn't create it. Something put it inside of me, and it was God for me. So, but I did that, and it definitely got me in this process of understanding that there's such an interconnection with going on in our hearts and our spirit and our body and our brain and how we work. And if I do something I love, guess what? You know how I went to work every day as an actress? Oh, I'm going to an audition. I never, it's Monday. No, for me, that's what I needed. That's what I wanted. It was soaring. It was moving. I was planning. I'm a planner. I had a business plan I written out. I already knew I was going to be singing on Broadway. Check plus. I was off Broadway, but I had to get on Broadway, so that wasn't happening yet. And I had something that come up, and I lost my voice. Tragic. My singing voice. I had a really bad infection in the throat, and found myself in the hospital a little bit, and found I was way more weight. Remember I said about living in truth than I ever thought I was. And I was like, can't sing, not going back to the U.S. Attorney's Office. I don't know what I want to do, and I have to go back to the well. What other things are passionate? And nothing was ringing a bell for me, but all I decided was, let me live one day at a time. Let me find a plan of action. Let me stay committed to work to understand all of these dimensions. And in the process, started to understand, wow, okay, so I mentioned about the brain and the body. It's got to work as one. There's a lot of connections. Everything has to come together. If I'm feeling really bad, guess what? My exercise is not going to be really good. If I'm feeling self-doubt, guess what? I'll probably quit something. If I don't have all of the pieces lined up as to who I am, some piece of my outside life is not going to be quite right. My relationships, my spirituality, something is going to fall. And when one thing falls, then you're not right. You're not right in any way. So it's interesting that once you have that commitment to really learn and that thirst, commitment to work on yourself, you start to realize that there is a lot of component parts. And I love fitness. I loved it. I said, I'm not going to diet. That was one rule I made. And I'm going to feel and really learn my body and what to do. And that's what I need you to do. So I'm hoping you're writing down a dream. I'm hoping you're writing down a passion. I'm hoping you're writing down a skill. I'm hoping you're writing down a talent. Hoping you write about, even if you think it's not even possible. Trust, it's possible if you're committed to work. So while I'm doing these things, I'm starting to find that I have an affinity for this. I have a passion for it. I have a love for it. And do you know, flash forward a couple of years, the same hospital that I laid in the hospital bed with a very nice nurse who said, darling, you have to get on the scale, when I was trying to guesstimate what I weighed. I remember her. To come back as a fitness instructor at the hospital where I had laid in the bed to teach employees, first bariatric patients and then employees. It's just amazing, the journey that you have. I couldn't have imagined it. I love my work in the hospital. I still very much work with staff, and I work with community through the hospital. I do grants with that. My business, my fitness business, which has now been over 11 years, has taken off in ways I could not have even imagined as a consultant. And I'm moving, and I'm like, okay, I got it. Brain, body, you got to have a connection. Your muscles, you have to feel your muscles. You have to move through the breath, right? I'm connecting what I learned from before and adding it what I'm learning now. And then you know what? Here I am minding my own business. And someone calls me and says, Lisa, do you want to come work at the neurology department in Rutgers? And I thought to myself, I've been an opera singer and an attorney. I'm a neurologist. So I talked to my dad, I'm a neurologist now. It was like, what are you talking about? But it was the final piece of the puzzle. And it's the one that said, okay, when we talk about health, well, I know it's from the inside out. I gotta get you to know yourself. I gotta get you to walk through the pain. I gotta get you to make and understand that you're a part of the choices you make. I gotta get you to be committed to work and to learning about yourself. And now I know that to have true health, you can't just eat right and move your body. I mean, that's nice. Two thumbs. Eat right, move your body. You'll see a lot of really good things. But if you're not sleeping and you're not breathing diaphragmatically, I'm going to guarantee there's something happening on the stress side. And if you're stressed, it usually affects the sleep side. So you could be doing two really great things and not realize all these other components that make up your health. And for me, I never had someone that could speak to it all. They always spoke to something. You know, go in there and exercise. Jump, 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 jump over there. Okay, jump on that box. When I was 77 pounds heavier, I was like, jump on that box. That seems very high. You know, but jump and move, and that might work for a little piece. Or go on this particular diet. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a secret, and I'm really going to hope that you don't share it with anyone, because it is just one of those things. I am a lifetime member of 3 diet organizations. 3. That requires you to go on their diet and to lose all the weight and to maintain it for a little piece. And then you're a lifetime member, which means you can come anytime and get a big old discount. And but I never would want to go back to the same one. So I would just go to a different one, various points of my life. And what I say to me, until I could live the truth of what that is and remove all the shame about it, I was like, okay, why would a place have a lifetime membership if it's successful? So I'm not about that. I'm not about the little things. There's enough of that out there. Who here has ever stayed up late and seen an infomercial that's on, and it says, if you buy this pill or this system or the little thigh master or the reach over here in a band, and then they show the people and they're exercising on it, and you're like, wow, okay, that could be a good investment. And yet when I was an actress, can't tell you how many calls there were for, we're doing a video about exercise or a weight loss video. We're looking for people that are fit, or we're looking for people of this or that to come in, and they're just there for the moment. So it's all smoke and mirrors. It's not real. So if you're going to put the work in, you're going to have a lifetime of realness. You're going to have a lifetime of the ability to enjoy the fruits that were given to you in the healthiest of ways. So a couple of really quick little things I want to say. I need you to focus on the sleep. I need you to sleep more. I need you to treat it as if it's a part of your exercise. It's like, I'm going to go use the exercise bike and I'm going to really work on my sleep. It's the same. I leave you this with the sleep, because now I have it from the science side. So in all, without jokes aside, I love that I'll go to the neurology symposiums. We have a weekly lab meeting. And so I'm the only non-scientist there, but I have a thirst for learning. And what I realized was there's a disconnect. What the lab does is it determines why, as African Americans, we are twice or 3 times as likely to develop dementia and Alzheimer's. Did you know that? A lot of people don't even know that. Do you know, as African Americans, you sleep 2 to 3 hours less than any other ethnic group? Did you know that if you don't sleep It's a direct indicator of the ability to grow healthy T cells in your body. You can grow brain cells and better connections. It's an indicator of your ability to hold on to memory, to store memory properly, to be present, to be cognizant. So when we get into that work zone, it becomes a part of what I call my yes body plan, my yes body system, which is I'm going to turn what we're no's into yes. So if I say to you, I really need you to sleep between 7 and 9 hours, and you say, no, no, Lisa. No, 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 no. I need to turn it into a yes. And I give you this analogy, and maybe this will mean something to you. And if it does, I hope you put something in the chat, and I hope you stay in contact with me. If I were to come to your house and I would decree that no one can throw any trash out in your kitchen, and you have a big meal and no cleanups, and another big meal and no cleanups, how long do you think it would be before your kitchen would be one of those things you put tape around the door and say, do not enter? And for your brain on sleep, that's exactly what happens. Trash builds up. And the only time that it can really rid itself through cells, through the whole process of elimination of the toxins, is at the third and the fourth stage of sleep. So if you're a light sleeper, you're not getting there. There's another problem. And so it builds up over time. And lots of studies to see how long it takes to build up. Okay, it's not set science on how long, but I can tell you definitively, it builds up. You need to sleep. If I say to move, and I'll say to someone, hey, I need you to really commit, to 3 days, at least 3 days. Can you go out, do that 10,000 walk? Ian Smith, remember he started that. He was fabulous. 10,000 steps, or if you can't get 10,000, how many you can do, how many days of the week. But then in addition to that, I need you to do a little weight training, and I need you to do a little cardio, and I need you to do this. Lisa, I don't really like that. I'm very busy. I have a long. I've heard every excuse known to mankind. I did something one time at the airport with pilots and airline stewardess. Their schedule's truly crazy. And I was showing them how to use the airport to work out. Here's the thing. Studies show that if I can get you to commit to that fitness on working out, not only can I grow better synapse connections between neurons, not only can I grow actually the white matter in your brain, not only will you be less inclined to head into the dementia, Alzheimer's, right? There's no absolute promises, but I can make you less inclined as your body. But it is a direct indicator of all sorts of health things. So things we know about our heart, our blood pressure, our stress level, depression. If I can get you to move, I can get the body moving to release those natural serotonin and melatonins in the body, those chemicals that help us to relax, that take our what they call the parasympathetic system down in a relaxed state. And then I can supplement that through great breathing. So this is not a choice, if you will. So when I'm sitting in the lab, and honestly, a lot of the scientists not looking like me, and I'm thinking to myself, how can I get all of that information out in a way that people can really understand it, but also be compelled to move? Because here's the great news. And that's why I don't like living in the negative. You can do something about it. All of it. And the work that I talked about in the front is going to get the mind right. You're going to be sharp. You're going to be ready to what I call my 3 C's. You're going to be ready to really claim what you want. You're going to be able to chart it by way of goal making, and you're going to be able to choose the actions you want to do. It is going to be so clear for you. And part of that's going to be, well, what do I need to clean up? Sleep, I need to clean up. Breathing, I need to clean up. Movement, I need to clean up. Whatever you need to clean up, you're going to be ready to go. I've got to tell you, one of my clients, and who I would mention to her, her head was kind of bowed, and she'd had bariatric surgery, and then she had gained weight back. And she felt so bad about that. I didn't really want to talk about it, but felt so bad about it. It was in every cell of her body. I could tell how bad she felt, but how she carried herself, by her posture, how she moved, how she spoke, the negative things she said. And we had to undo the inner to find the outer. And she'd say, oh, look at this little piece of fat here. Oh, look at that fat there. I say, listen, body's doing what it can do. Leave the body alone. All I need you to do is commit. If you agree to commit and just keep going, your body will take care of yourself. To see her flash forward a year, it was like a year and a half, when she really lost. It was so good. She's like, you know what? I'm going to start dating. I said, well, all right. Maybe there's a new part of my business model, but I love the idea of moving community. And I love the idea of you claiming it for yourself and seeing that you have the ability to move forward. When you're in this realm, that's where the last two things come in. You become resilient. You become resilient. Someone can come and say the same thing they said to you a year ago that would have really bothered you, and you become resilient because you know who you are. You are that queen, and you know it. And you know, and it's not just I'm saying it, you've actually done the work and you know it. And so that can never bother you. You'll be resilient against the things that come your way. COVID-19 hits the business. Everything canceled. Lisa, no longer this. I was booked for the whole year. Like dominoes. Like, I said to myself, okay, let me call the state. I was on a grant, and they were able to say, Lisa, if you can put it together as a virtual, it's on. I could have sat in my room, I could have, or I could have been resilient. And the more work you do, the more resilience you have. And the last thing that I'm going to say is at this stage, because you've done the work, because you are resilient, then it becomes, how do I find all the things that really excite my core? Those beautiful, giving, caring, loving, appreciative, all of those moral characters. How can I walk in that? How can I challenge myself to be better than I was yesterday? If I meet someone with a surly attitude, and we have, what can I do? Can I do something? Say something that can flip it. That's a challenge to me, as opposed to being sucked into the surliness, right? You start to nourish your core in that way, and you will truly find a kind of fun in your living that you've never experienced before. And that is the goal of really approaching health in a different way. I wanted just to end with something, because I'm always struck by and inspired, actually, by poetry. So, quick story. My mom was a theater major in Howard. And so at the age of 8, I started traveling around the churches doing poetry, which I loved. And I continued that through college. But you're going to know this one, but I want you to see the words and hear the words in a different way. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through the bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tired. So he opens his throat to sing. The cage bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still. And his tune is heard on a distant hill, for the cage bird sings of freedom. But the free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting in the dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a cage bird stands on the graves of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare screams. His wings are clipped and his feet are tired, and he opens his throat to sing. The cage bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still. I I think I don't want anyone that I ever meet in any group that I ever know be caged in any way. For you are free. And I'm going to guarantee you, if you take a few steps and honor your queendom, you will live the free life that you were given to live. And for me to be a piece of that journey, just a drop, is a beauty beyond belief for me. So I really thank you. I'm gonna leave information about me I want to take. I think I finished a few minutes early so I could be able to take some questions. Hope you have some questions. Be bold and be daring. It's okay to share. It really illuminates you and enlightens the load a little bit. There's a couple of things that I want to tell you that's coming my way, and I'm so excited. I'm actually working with a publisher right now, and my book is going to be coming out in the spring. And, if that's something that you would love to hear about when I'm ready to really bring that out, I would love to see how I could stay in contact with you. And I'm also going to be a part of a television, a new Black-oriented station called Jam Network Television. And so anyone that gives me, some contacts, as soon as the show is out and, we're up and really running, I would love to share that with you. Um, and then, of course, I do my brain set, and that's, of course, I do virtually. I love it, where I really take time to take you through those moments. So those are sort of some of the projects that I'm about. I'm definitely still with Rutgers and doing virtual. And so I say, if you have a senior that, a parent or someone that's really not moving, and you really want them to be maybe in a social situation where they can move a little bit and get a workshop, that's another avenue, just to let me know. Because while the grant is on, I would love to bring in as many seniors that would love to be a part of it. We have a really incredible group. But so questions. I hope there's questions.
Yes.
We're like, we don't know. We don't got no questions. Like, oh,
That was
no.
amazing. Can you hear me, Lisa?
I can.
Awesome. First of all, before we even get to our questions that are going to be handled by Janelle Armstrong, Janelle, you can unmute. Let's give that virtual clap for Lisa Charles. Lisa,
Oh, they're real.
you were doing your thing, and you can't see all the chat that's been on fire about what you've been saying. It was resonating with sisters throughout. I had to drop my pen literally when you were talking about, the signs of like stress, your sleep, whatever. I was like, yep, that's such a cycle. Powerful, my sister. And I'm happy I was able to listen while I did get those lashes on, ladies. So super, for inspiring me to get my magnetic lashes, and I got them on. I even touched my hair a little bit, but I was shouting as I was doing it and listening to the powerful testimony. And sisters, I hope that you see through this retreat also women like Lisa, like Janet, like Salon, like me. We are just like you, but we're just bold enough to take that next step and turn some of our pain into our testimony.
Yes.
And to not be afraid to let others know our vulnerability. Because if I look like you, Lisa, I think I try to forget about the 77 pounds, because they don't know about that. What they don't know, they don't need to know, right? I just be walking around fabulous like you. And we want to know where we can get some fabulous workout pants like that. We were in the chat talking about that too.
Oh, great. It's like, that's a whole other thing. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with anything that's like out there. So yes, I'll be able to do one.
Well, I know they're burning questions. Janelle, what is on? You are our woman who's on the ground correspondent. What are the queens in the queendom asking?
All right, so we have a question that says, what fitness exercise techniques would best reduce anxiety?
Oh, I love that. So one of the things that I always start everyone on is learning how to breathe. So I want to just give you a quick tip on the breathing, and this is a great exercise to hit anxiety right away, right? So let's say you're feeling a certain way, you get up and you just don't really want to go forward on this part of the day, or you have to go into a meeting. So everyone, what you want to do, you always want to keep what I call perfect posture, right? Your shoulders are back and down. It's very important. It sounds small, but it's not. Because anytime I start leaning forward, my thoughts and negativity come to the surface. Do you notice when you cry, when you're sad, when you think, you hunch? No one cries like, no one does it. It's the giving way of the body. But more importantly, when you hunch, you close off the chest. Now you can't breathe as well. Have you ever seen when you're crying, okay, I'm gonna put it for me. When I had a certain cry thing, I'm here, and now I can't breathe, right? The chest is compressed. So anytime you open up, you're already in a better stead. So for the breathing, you're gonna close gently one nostril, and you're just gonna breathe in one. Just try it right now. Breathe every bit of air you can get in, and then close that nostril and breathe out the other one. Now breathe in this one, and breathe out the other one. You're gonna sit there and do that for 10 breaths. Why? You literally are putting more oxygen up towards into the brain, and it's like intense. And when you do that over like a 10, each nostril 10 times, I'm gonna guarantee you, for some people, they'll feel a little lightheaded. For some people, they'll get a little tinglies. But what'll happen is you'll start to get super focused on what? On breath, on breathing, on relaxing. Because it's too many movements to get you thinking about this meeting that you're getting ready to go on, or someone that said something, or something you're going over in your mind that you're kicking yourself about. All you're thinking about is breathing. The other one I want to leave you with is breathing in and out. This is one I wanted to maybe do with you guys, but you're breathing in and out. So let's just do it once. We're going to breathe in and out for about 5 times. You would really do it for about 15. On the 5th time, as you exhale, you're going to close your mouth, and you're just going to hold your breath. Okay, so we're going to breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Hold your breath. Breathe in, hold your breath, and let it go. Some people may have felt a little lightheaded, but what it does is it just gets this great source of oxygen flowing through the body, and it signals the brain to release some endorphins. So I always say that's in a pinch. But I do a lot of different, that's one of my expertises in the breathing. I'm a breathing specialist, so I do like a series of different breathing exercises. The point is that I want to be able to capture you before you fall. So do the breathing, and then immediately get out of the area. So if I'm feeling really sad, I'm in the basement, that's where I am, I do the breathing, and then I go somewhere else. It's that movement of somewhere else. Hopefully outside, even if it's down the block and back, doesn't really matter. These little things can make a big difference in anxiety, like especially when it's first hitting. Because what you don't want is the cycle. We didn't talk about the inner defeaters. I have a whole thing I do about fear, negative words, inner defeaters. And usually when you get into anxiety state, you start saying really bad things to yourself. That's when you start, oh, no, that doesn't work. My life is there. What choice I made. That's when all these big things come. It's like body blows, like against my bag back there, bang, bang. And you're already in a weakened state, right? So if you let it progress, then the breathing won't be as effective. But this kind of opening the chest and breathing is going to really get you very present.
Thank you. We have several other questions, so maybe I can see if we can just do 1 or 2 more, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Sure. And Janelle, I think the next 2, you can ask them together. They're kind of related.
Okay. I was going to jump out of order, honestly. All right. So the next question says, does it depend on the person of how much sleep they need? And how would you find out? And the part B of this question would be, can you add melatonin when you sleep? Would it help you sleep more?
Great questions. So, no, not really on the first. You should get 7 to 9 hours as an adult. Whoever told you that as I got older, I don't have to sleep, I sleep less, it's false. It's not borne out in the science. Now, little children need much more hours, right? So if you have anyone that has little toddlers and things, we're talking about like 12 hours sleep. Sometimes we're getting them up, cracking on, get to school, like, but then they need to go to bed, right? They need the sleep. They need to sleep for building their brain. We need to sleep for healing our brain, right? So we all need it. So there are a lot of really good strategies to being able to do it, but keep with the hours and really don't think like if you're at 5 hours, something like I got to get to 9. No, think that you're at 5 and now I want you to get to 5 in 15 minutes. Like think incrementally, small steps work. And I think the second question was, what was the second question?
Melatonin.
Oh, so I always say this. People tell me, "Oh, Lisa, I'm going to take this or I'm going to take that," and I say, "Okay, cool. I'm not going to say anything about it, but I want you to get to the point where your body releases the things it needs to release and provides you the things that you need to provide. Melatonin taken in will never be as good as what can be released in your system naturally. So I try to get you back in your circadian rhythm, right? We all have it, right? We have a time to sleep, and there's a poem about that. There's a time to walk, and a time to work, and a time to rest, and a time to work. But it says it, but it's true. And if I can get you on your circadian rhythm, your natural rhythm that you were born with, your body will release the chemicals you need. That being said, if you're in a desperate need, just don't rely on it because it really is, it's not been shown to be as effective as people think it is taking it. It might have some variance to it, but other things can be much, much more effective, like changing your routine, right? Like what you ate, what you drank. I'll throw in can I give them a little bonus? Give them a little bonus, right? So the kitchen is closed. I wish you all could say it. Let me see your mouths move. The kitchen is closed. What do you think it means? Stop your eats as soon as your last meal. It's very helpful for sleep because now you're not digesting. Your body doesn't have to work so hard. Now you can just work on resting and relaxation. So it's more habits you can change instead of things you take in, if that makes sense.
Yes, it definitely does. And thank you on behalf of all the women on the chat, all the queens around the world. I'm telling you, the chat is lit with so much of excitement. I'm pretty sure there are like pens and papers just turning the pages. You were able to provide a wealth of knowledge and an awesome perspective for me, especially when it comes to just thinking about health. And I've already got you in mind. I have an elderly person who's dear to my heart. So if we need to get in contact with you, what is the best way?
Yes. So I'm going to put it in the chat, but best ways for me, and people say you're crazy, but it works for me, is either by email or my phone. I'm great with text. I just do the text. I get lots of text every day and I can respond right away. So, my phone, I'm just going to say it so you can write it, in case you don't go through the chat, 973-704-2214. And my website is embraceyourfitness.net. So it's embraceyourfitness.net. And email, make it simple, is lisa@embraceyourfitness.net. So I would love for it. I love getting flooded. Can't flood me enough. And like I said, I do have a couple of things I would like to be able to share with you guys. I don't know how we'll get it to you, but
We're going to email.
Kind of talks you through a piece of the journey. But at the end of the pages that I send also has my contact information on it. But it also says, give me 3 action items. So if you do call me or contact me, the first thing I'm going to say is, what is your action item? What are you doing? Uh-oh, I hope that didn't make you not call me. But I want you to take steps forward to whatever it is that you want. Be clear.
This
Thank
was Thank you, Janelle. You did an excellent job speaking for the people. There are several. Lisa, I don't know if you have time to stay on to
Yeah.
answer.
Oh, sure. I wanted to be respectful of you guys.
Sure. You know what? You'll be able to see the Q&A
Okay.
box when you look. You are able to click the box that says type answer, and you can respond if you want. Ladies, if Lisa doesn't get to you today, can you please do what she said and reach out to her? She wants to answer these questions. So if she doesn't get to your question today, please email her. I put her information in the chat, and our moderator did, as well as her cell phone number. But Lisa, could you give us a 30-second answer to this one question that I think is great in closing, asked by my colleague at Pepperdine, LaShonda Coleman, who's also a wonderful woman of faith and works to help in the wellness area for students at Pepperdine in our counseling center. She thanks you so much. You have so many gifts, and she's asking, how do you suggest someone focus on which one of the many gifts is their core focus or purpose?
So I love that question. Let me answer it really quickly. I'm going to say from my own life, I think when you may have, I think I have hundreds, many I don't even know yet. I haven't even taken time to learn. But once you have one that you found that you say, wow, I really love singing, then put everything you got, like make it work. I'm not saying it becomes a profession, making it work can be in different ways for different people, but don't just dabble. Don't just now try for a second. It's given to you for a reason. So you can, have a lot. Don't get caught up with, oh, I have so many. The one that's rising to the top, and if you would just listen and you pray, and for me, that's what I do. The one that rises to the top is the one you're going to grasp, and you're going to take it all the way. And then you'll be here for other things that come your way as well. I would say this: be open, and don't be closed in a box, right? Don't try to make it happen in the ways you think, because there are other ways that could be so much more enriching, and you will close yourself off from it. So keep your mind and your heart and your spirit very open, but be committed to move.
Wow. That is awesome. Lisa, we love you. We thank you. We also thank you for your generosity in the follow-up PDFs and files that you're sending us that are resources. So ladies, you're going to be getting a follow-up email from us today because you need the link to join us for service tomorrow, which will be a different dial-in. So in that email communication, you are going to also have these files that are gifts from Lisa. Do not just let that sit in your inbox. Open it up and send her a thank you and let her know how these resources have blessed your life. That's a bonus she's giving us. So we thank God for you. We love you, and may the Lord continue to bless you.